Hi there. Are you lost? You don't know where you are. Well, my name is Trunks, and you're in an underground bunker that is the headquarters for the Resistance. The Resistance that fights the androids. You know, androids 17 and 18. What do you mean that you don't know who the androids are? You know, androids 17 and 18, they look like a young teenage boy around 18 years old, young teenage girl also around the same age. They kind of rule the world. You know, they go around from city to city across the earth, and they treat it as their own personal amusement park, killing anybody that stands in their way. Men, women, children, it doesn't really matter as long as they get a sick rush from it. Those androids, there's no way that you can't possibly know who they are. That's that's really bizarre to me because everyone knows who the androids are. It's on the news. So, do you have amnesia or something? It just doesn't. Okay. So tell me what happened then. You're saying that you woke up here. So you were messing around with your microwave, and it started to go haywire, and then you woke up here. You blacked out, and then you woke up here. That's what you're saying happened? Well, there's only two theories that I can come up with to explain that. Theory number one is that you have amnesia, and theory number two is that you somehow used your microwave to teleport to an alternate universe where the reality is that the androids rule everything around us. And I don't really know which one makes more sense. So, prior to messing around with the microwave, do you remember anything about the androids or anything like that? You don't. Okay. Well, regardless of what it is, you're here now. So, I should get you up to speed, because it doesn't look like you're going back to where you came from anytime soon. So you're gonna need to know how things are here so that you can survive. So, the androids, or I should let me go back to the very beginning. Let me tell you a story of how this all started, and you'll understand everything perfectly. So, put on your listening ears, because this is very, very important. Over 40 years ago, there was a young boy named Goku. Goku was a fighter that was pure of heart. One of the purest souls that you could ever possibly meet. Now, Goku traveled around the world fighting some of the strongest martial artists that you'll ever come across. And he did this because he just wanted to test his strength. Crash landing on Earth as a young alien baby from planet Vegeta, it is ingrained in their blood as part of the Saiyan race. The Saiyan race is an alien civilization in a distant galaxy out there, and Goku was sent here as a young child. But I'm kind of digressing a little bit. But so as he grew up, he learned how to fight. He trained, and he fought all these different martial artists. Now, the important part of this story is that he eventually comes across an evil crime organization, almost like a military organization, known as the Red Ribbon Army. Now, the Red Ribbon Army had a variety of different leaders, and Goku, being the person that he was, didn't want them to harm innocent people. That's the kind of person that he was. So, he took out each leader one by one. Eventually, he got to someone named Dr. Gero. Now, Dr. Gero was particularly vengeful after his loss to Goku. He didn't take it very well. Goku, being the kind of person that he is, he never killed anybody. So he let Dr. Gero live. And that's one mistake that he and the rest of us have learned to regret. You see, what ended up happening is that Dr. Gero never got over that. He was going to do everything in his power to take Goku out, and he tried again and again and again, and he failed countless times. One day, he had a brilliant idea, and that idea was that he would create a drone that would follow Goku around for his entire adult life. This drone would spy on Goku and collect his fighting habits, his technique, everything about him, and this followed him around for years. Now, the reason that he did this is because he would later take that data and use it to create the androids. The goal here was that because androids 17 and 18 would essentially know everything about Goku, there would be no way that Goku would be able to fight them or would be able to win in a fight against them. And that's where the story begins to get complicated. You see, the androids surfaced about 20 years ago when I was a small baby. And the sad and ironic, twisted sense of humor that fate has, 6 months prior to their arrival, Goku died of a heart virus. So all of this preparation that Dr. Gero had gone through, at the end of the day, Goku just ended up dying to a stupid heart virus. So in a really weird way, Gero never did get his revenge against Goku. But nonetheless, once the androids surfaced 6 months later, they looked around for Goku, but they couldn't find him. Now, once they found out that he was already dead, they decided to kill everybody else. That's where my father, Vegeta, and the Earth's special forces came into play. The Earth's special forces were a group of people that were all friends with Goku. Some of them he met on his journeys around the world. Some of them he met later on. But it basically consisted of my father, Vegeta, who was one of Goku's bitter rivals. My father was also a Saiyan warrior from planet Vegeta who came here years ago to check on Goku, and they fought. Goku won, and so they developed this bitter rivalry. My father later settled down and had a child with my mother, Bulma, who is standing in front of you, obviously. But the point is, my father, Vegeta, was the first one to confront the androids, and nobody expected them to be as strong as they were. The reason being is when you look at their appearance, they resemble that of a young teenage boy and girl. Obviously, Gero created artificial killing machines, cyborgs, androids, robots, whatever you want to call them, but they're not human. So they may look like a teenage boy and girl, and they may not look intimidating, but they are the strongest beings that you will ever come across. So my father tried to fight them, and then he died. Subsequently, after that, the rest of the Earth's special forces tried to fight the androids. Piccolo, Yamcha, Tien, Krillin, Chaozu, and Gohan, who was the only one who managed to escape. Everyone else died except Gohan, who was about 11 years old at the time. Gohan went on to become my mentor. He taught me how to fight. He taught me how to take care of myself. We fought the androids countless times. Gohan essentially was like a father figure to me. And then 4 years ago, I think he was around 20, must not have been older than 25 years old. He finally met his end at the hands of the androids. I remember it like it was yesterday. Gohan had just lost his arm in a fight to the androids, protecting me from getting killed by them. Shielded me from a blast, from an explosion caused by them, and he lost his entire left arm. A couple of days later, the androids attacked again. Gohan knocked me out unconscious because he wanted to fight them on his own. I never saw him again after that. He met his end. I remember searching for him through this broken down city, and then I saw him laying there, and then I just knew that it was over. And that was 4 years ago, and I was about 20-ish, I want to say. But the point is, the androids are monsters. They're killing machines. And I'm the only one that's left that can fight them, because everyone else is just a normal person. There's not a lot of alien warriors walking around planet Earth. So it's really up to me to fight the androids. And that's why this underground bunker is so important, because this is where everyone can help. I fight the androids, but there's more of a role to play. We have people who scavenge for food, for resources. We have people who take care of the sick and the old and the young. And then we have shelter for people to hide against the androids. It's very important that we keep this place going, because it's the only sanctuary that we have against the androids. I know that it's a lot to take in, and this story isn't easy to digest, but this is a simple reality of things. You see, the androids, they're different from what you might see in a comic book or a movie when it comes to evil villains, because they're not in it for power. They're not in it for money. They don't want to rule the world because they've already accomplished that. What they want is the sick thrill of going around the world and killing people, destroying cities, and laying waste to anything that they can. It doesn't matter to them. They'll do it for the rest of eternity. They could have destroyed this planet already if they wanted to. But they won't. They enjoy the thrill of the hunt. They kill for the sake of killing. They are pure evil. Once they found out that Goku was no longer alive, their objective was in theory complete. This is why Dr. Gero created them in his lab. He wanted them to kill Goku. That was their mission. Their mission does not exist anymore. So now, all they have left is this sick amusement park that they've created for themselves. And I wish that I could say that I'm strong enough to fight them, but I'm not. I'm not strong enough to kill the androids, but not yet. You see, my mother, Bulma, she has been working on a time machine for the past 4 years, since before Gohan's death, and she swears that it'll work and that I'll be able to travel to the past and change history and perhaps prevent Goku from dying from that heart virus. I don't think that it's possible. I think we're much better left off working on this place and just gathering our resources and fighting the androids, staying alive, working towards creating something where we will be able to live and live comfortably, even with all of this going on, at least until I can find a way to shut them down or to kill them or just temporarily disable them, whatever will give us some peace of mind. But it all starts with a group effort. Everyone has a part to play. So I guess what I'm asking is, will you help us? Will you help us fight the androids? I don't expect you to fight them physically. I know that not everyone can fight them the way that a Saiyan or a half Saiyan like myself or Gohan can do. I know that, and I don't expect you to do that because nobody's a match for them. But we have a lot of jobs available. You can scavenge for resources, you can take care of the elderly, you can care for the sick, for the young. Anything at all would be really greatly appreciated. I'm not gonna keep you here, but I don't think that you'll be better off outside. So I'll ask you one more time, will you help us fight, please? Thank you. Thank you. I promise you that as long as we all stick together and we put in a group effort, we will one day wake up in a world where the androids are no longer a reality. I can't tell you how many nights I've laid awake staring at the ceiling wishing that I could see my father or my master Gohan again, but that's not the reality. But the reality that we can create is a future where everyone lives free from the androids. So I'm happy to have you aboard. We have rooms available, and they're not much. They're not very comfortable, but there's a mattress. You know, we've got some running water in some of the rooms. We have food. The water, isn't hot. It's lukewarm, but again, this is a start, and we're making the best with what we have. So I hope that you can find comfort in this place until we find a way to figure out where you're from, because you're clearly not from this universe. So we'll work on that as well. Maybe my mom can do something about it, but we'll find out. But yeah, I'll show you to your room, and then I have to jet out and take care of some business. I just checked out the news, and it turns out the androids are attacking another city. They just won't quit. I mean, every major city has been reduced to rubble already. New York City's gone. Tokyo is gone. London is gone. I just don't understand what more they want. There's literally nothing left. There's no commerce. There's no government. There's no law. No transportation. No logistical way for food to be sent. So it's rough for sure. But we'll find a way to make it. We'll find a way to survive. Thank you. And I'm glad that you have such a positive attitude. I know that this is a lot for you. So, let's go. I'll show you your room, and then I gotta head out.